All right, today we're going to talk about Claude AI. You've probably heard the name. It's the large language model from a company called Anthropic, and it's making some serious noise, not just for how powerful it is, but for its really unique approach to safety.
This is what you hear a lot. And in a world full of AIs, that's a really bold claim to make. So, what does human sounding and safest actually mean when you're using it? Well, that's what we're going to unpack.
So, to really get what Claude is all about, we have to start at the beginning. You have to understand the company that built it, and more importantly, why they built it the way they did. So, Claude comes from Anthropic, and get this, it was founded by former top execs from OpenAI, Dario and Daniela Amodi. They left with a very specific mission to build AI differently. Instead of just racing to be the biggest or the fastest, they wanted to put safety and responsibility right at the core of everything. And that's not just a marketing slogan, it's literally built into the AI's DNA. So how do they pull this off? Well, they use this really fascinating method called constitutional AI. Now, instead of just training an AI and then trying to fix its mistakes with human feedback, they built the rules in from the start. It's trained on a constitution, a set of principles from sources like the UN Declaration of Human Rights. This constitution basically acts as its moral compass, guiding it to be helpful, honest, and harmless from day one. And why should you care about this? Well, it means that Claude is designed to be a more reliable and predictable tool. If you're running a business and you're worried about brand safety, or you're an educator looking for a tool you can trust in the classroom, this built-in focus on being harmless is a massive, massive selling point. Okay, so it's safe, we get that. But what can it actually do? Let's get into the good stuff, the superpowers that really make Claude stand out from the crowd. Take a look at this number, 200,000. In the world of AI, this number is a really big deal. We're talking about 200,000 tokens, which is a measure of how much information it can handle all at once. To put that into perspective for you, it's basically the equivalent of dropping an entire 500-page book into the chat and asking it questions. Think about that. A huge legal contract, a dense financial report. You can just upload it and have it summarized or analyzed instantly. This is what's called its context window, and for doing any kind of deep work, it's an absolute game changer. But Claude isn't a one-size-fits-all tool. It's actually a family of models. Think of it like this. You've got Haiku, which is the sprinter. It's super fast for quick, simple jobs. Then there's Sonnet 3.5, which is your all-rounder, the one you'll probably use for most day-to-day tasks. And then there's Opus. Opus is the heavy lifter. That's the one you call on for the really complex, deep, brain-bending analysis. Okay, so we know its features, but how does that translate into actually creating something? This is where Claude really starts to shine, from writing code to crafting long essays. Let's talk about one of its coolest features, something called artifacts. Now, this is really clever. Instead of just giving you a boring block of code when you ask for it, Claude can actually create an interactive window for you right there next to the chat so you can see and use what you've just built in real time. The whole process is just so intuitive. You can ask it to code a little game or maybe design a simple web page. And just like that, an artifact window pops up right next to your chat. You can literally start playing the game or clicking on the web page right away. It closes the loop between asking for something and actually seeing it work. It's awesome.
And it's not just about coding. That human sounding quality we mentioned, this is where it pays off. You can feed it your messy, jumbled notes, and it'll turn them into a polished, heartfelt piece that doesn't sound robotic at all. And by using that huge context window, you can upload multiple different reports, say a few PDFs and a Word doc, and ask it to blend them all into a single cohesive analysis. Of course, no tool is perfect, and it's not all free. So let's get into the practical side of things. What's it going to cost you? And maybe more importantly, what can it do? The pricing is pretty straightforward, which is nice to see. You've got a free tier, which is perfect for just trying it out. Then there's a pro plan for individuals, which is about $20 a month. And of course, a team plan for businesses that need to collaborate. So what's the real difference? Well, the free plan is great, but you'll probably hit your daily message limit pretty fast if you're doing serious work. Upgrading to Pro gives you about 5 times more usage. But the biggest reason to upgrade is that it unlocks Opus, that heavy lifter model you need for the really tough jobs. Now, for the fine print, you need to know these. First, Claude doesn't have live internet access. Its knowledge has a cutoff date, so it can't tell you yesterday's news. Second, because of its safety-first design, it can sometimes be a bit too cautious and refuse to answer a perfectly innocent prompt. And finally, and this is true for every AI out there, it can still hallucinate,
which is just a fancy way of saying it can make things up. So please always double check anything critical. Okay, so after all that, we land on the big question. Is Claude the right AI for you? Here's the bottom line. Claude is your go-to AI if your work involves analyzing long, complex documents. It's also the clear choice if you want to generate writing that feels genuinely natural and nuanced, or if you want to use that amazing artifacts feature for coding. And fundamentally, it's the right tool for anyone who puts a high value on AI safety, responsible behavior, and data privacy. And all of this leaves us with one last pretty big question to think about. When an AI can write with this much humanity, when it can analyze and create in this way, what does that mean for our work? What's the truly human part that's left for us to do? Something to chew on.